Let's get into it. What a week. At a recent rally, Donald Trump humiliated JD Vance, the Ohio Senate candidate he was supposedly there to endorse, joking with the crowd, "JD is kissing my ass. He wants my support so bad." Continued Trump, "Who is this guy? One of my sons?" This led producer Malcolm to remix the quote into this.
JD wants my ass. JD wants my ass. JD. One more time.
That's it. That's the whole thing. Feel that applause, Malcolm? That's all for you. So good, so good, so good. According to Maggie Haberman's new book, in late 2020, Trump asked everyone around him, including his Diet Coke valet, whether he should leave office peacefully. Imagine, you're just days out of the Diet Coke Valet Academy. This is your first big gig, and these are the questions being posed to you. Said the valet, "Let's fill the Capitol with Mentos. Show them who we're... Show them who they're messing with." In news that put a Mento in my Diet Coke, New York, if you catch my meaning, New York Attorney General Tish James sued Donald Trump and 3 of his children for $250 million this week, alleging that Trump and his family businesses fraudulently overvalued his assets over a decade. Overvaluing his assets? Who is he? Me at the Emmys after party? They did not invite me to the Emmys after party. Tish from Brooklyn said this during the press conference.
As part of his efforts to generate profits for himself, his family, and his company. The complaint demonstrates that Donald Trump falsely inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself and to cheat the system, thereby cheating all of us.
It's genuinely shocking to hear someone call a liar on their BS. Like, if someone actually ever agreed to play tennis with me, you know? Like, I'd be terrified. I'd have to go and get one of those mesh shovels. Who called out rackets? No, it looks like I'm just saying things. The joke would have otherwise murdered. And I want the record to reflect that. Put that in the show notes. We've had an incident. We've had a timing incident on an otherwise perfect night. Stop laughing, everybody. Former Attorney General Bill Barr said on Fox News that the suit constitutes prosecutorial overreach.
I'm not even sure she has a good case against Trump himself, but what ultimately persuades me that this is a political hit job is she grossly overreaches when she tries to drag the children into this. Yes, they had roles in the business.
Won't somebody think of these children? These innocent, sweet little children in their mid-40s. Busy, busy people. There's a lot of cocaine to get to. How are you supposed to read all this paperwork? How's Don Jr. supposed to do that? Following the announcement, Trump stopped by Hannity to rant, rave, and lie about both the lawsuit and the investigation of the seized Mar-a-Lago documents, at one point telling Hannity, if you're the President of the United States, you can declassify just by thinking about it.
Different people say different things, but as I understand, there doesn't have to be. If you're the President of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it, because you're sending it to Mar-a-Lago or to wherever you're sending it.
You know, look, he's getting a lot of guff for this. He's just following the secret. When Oprah does it, it's a trend. Trump does it, he's a joke. He's secreting. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure there's a big legal difference between secretly thinking something and actually saying or doing it. For example, if I actually said all the thoughts I had about Trump, the FBI would be searching my house. When asked about the actual process of declassification, Trump told Hannity the following.
Because you're sending it to Mar-a-Lago or to wherever you're sending it. And there doesn't have to be a process. There can be a process, but there doesn't have to be. You're the president. You make that decision. So when you send it, it's declassified. I declassified everything.
It's hard to watch a Trump clip after a few weeks or months without hearing from him. It's like when you come back into your house after a long vacation, you're like, is that what I smell like? Speaking of the Mar-a-Lago raid this week, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals overturned an order from Judge Eileen Cannon, the judge overseeing the designation of Trump's special master. The only way I can say it. I have to say it that way. It's such a stupid word. And gave the Department of Justice the go-ahead to review the 100 classified documents found in Mar-a-Lago ahead of the special master's review. It's important to savor how bad a week Trump is having before the Supreme Court rules that he can telepathically reinstate himself as president. The three-judge panel pointedly rebuked not only Trump's claims of declassification, but accused Cannon of abusing her discretion for taking Trump's lawyer at any of their words. While it's short of a fuck you to Judge Cannon, the ruling definitely was a we don't fucking care if Trump declassified these documents in his fucking mind. Said the court, plaintiffs suggest that he may have declassified these documents when he was president, but the record contains no evidence that any of these records were declassifying, adding, and before the special master, plaintiff resisted providing any evidence that he declassified any of these documents. Boy, it's hard to believe there was even a time before the special master, right? That's what makes it so special. The journey. Meanwhile, the January 6th committee returns to your television with a hearing next Wednesday, January 28th. If Liz Cheney and Benny Thompson don't fuck this season, I am out. I'm sick of this will they or won't they. Georgia Senate candidate and helmet PSA, Herschel Walker, set expectations low for his debate against Senator Raphael Warnock next month, saying at a campaign stop, "I'm not that smart." Walker went on... It's really tough out there. Walker went on to say, "But I do have a secret weapon." He then winked, smirked, and revealed a loaded pistol tucked into his waistband. I knew that wouldn't work, but it was for us. One for me, one for them. President Biden said on 60 Minutes that we will still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it, but the pandemic is over. Something he could only say because Fauci is quiet quitting. Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill into law that will legalize human composting in the state starting in 2027, which has given me much to consider. An Indiana man was arrested after the Washington Monument was vandalized with red paint on Tuesday. They should rename that thing the Washing Off a Ton of Red Paint Monument. Thank you. Thank you. A judge in Baltimore overturned the murder conviction of Adnan Syed, whose case was profiled in the first season of the hit podcast Serial, which ushered in the current wave of true crime podcasts. Somewhere watching over a city balanced on razor's edge between justice and corruption, the MailChimp keeps vigil. The MailChimp is not a hero. It's a dark night. The National Transportation Board has announced new recommendations that all new vehicles be created with built-in blood alcohol monitoring systems, but don't worry, they just want to know what kind of tunes you're going to want on your way home. 2 beers, it's a Blues Traveler night. After the launch of his new private Christian school, Kanye admitted that he has never read a book, likening it to eating Brussels sprouts. "They both taste terrible," he wrote inexplicably in a poem about Pete Davidson. After Instagram model Sumner Stowe posted screenshots of their conversations to TikTok, including his asking permission to name his unborn child after her, Maroon 5 frontman Adam Levine denied having an affair, but admitted, "I crossed the line during a regrettable period in my life." Continued Levine, "I took it to a Maroon 6, maybe even a Maroon 7, but never a Maroon 10. Some viewers have voiced criticism of Netflix fictionalized Marilyn Monroe biopic, Blonde, in particular the parts that feature a CGI talking fetus. It's in poor taste, but also, why do all these voiceover roles keep going to Chris Pratt? It's a me, the fetus. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. It wouldn't be Mario voice, the fetus. He does other voices. Jennifer Coolidge said that an allergic reaction to a spray tan landed her in the emergency room ahead of filming for The White Lotus. Her symptoms, shortness of breath and... I can't... What? Wanting a hot dog real... I can't do it. I told you I couldn't do it. Wanting a hot dog real bad. See, I don't have it. And you're making me do this. You want me to tell them why this is in the cards? I can't tell them why. So it's funny when you put things in the cards to make me look bad, but I can't tell them why it's here. Nothing to do with people that could do this voice. Can anyone here do Jennifer Coolidge better than the godforsaken version I just did? Wow, no one? in Los Angeles, in a Los Angeles theater, is willing to say they can do that impression. McDonald's announced it will begin reopening restaurants in Kiev and Western Ukraine this week, a process that will take place in stages over 2 months. That's how long it takes for the McGriddle reactor to reach critical mass. German customs officials said they found a cache of almost 100 giant African land snails hidden inside a suitcase at Dusseldorf Airport following a trail of slime. Imagine their surprise when at the end of the trail were suitcases of snails and not America's Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Said airport officials, don't do the slime if you can't do the time. For the first time, a medical panel has recommended that doctors screen everyone under 65 for anxiety. This is true. The panel didn't recommend anxiety screening for people over than 65 because the symptoms too closely resemble the effects of aging. Sure, you have a constant nagging fear that death is just around the corner, a sense of dread that permeates the very marrow of your bones. But the question we need to ask is, isn't that reasonable? Salt Lake City residents reported hearing music coming from their toilets and sewers. The water department later confirmed the noise was an environmentally friendly technology that allows workers to gauge whether a pipe is blocked via song versus waiting for the screaming to start later. Said the water department, if you happen to see Ezra Miller prancing through the sewers playing a stolen pan flute that is unrelated, call 911 immediately. The FDA has warned the public not to cook chicken in NyQuil in response to a TikTok challenge that dares people to cook chicken in NyQuil, which is disgusting. NyQuil pairs better with shrimp. With chicken, you want something a little creamier, a chicken a la Pepto. You know, something, a nice rich sauce. And finally, rapper Post Malone bruised his ribs after falling through a trap door in the stage while performing in St. Louis, according to his manager. We came very close to living in a Post Malone world. That's right. He almost became Ghost Malone. I can't do Jennifer Coolidge, president. It's time I face it. Can you just let's bring out Yasmin from Dare We Say? Can you just say, do you want a hot dog real bad?
Yeah, I want a hot dog real bad.
Thank you, Yasmin.
Look at her dad. That was
My
so
dad's
cute.
about to
That made my
combust.
entire night.